If this is your first time to visit this channel, please subscribe. The Lost Love, Regained, by Neeraj Gupta. Preface. This story reflects the sequences of love incidents in a person's life and how he regained his true love finally. It is a heartening tale of love, pain, lies and emotions. This is my first venture as an author. First of all, I want to thank my wife, who is also the editor of this novel, my family and friends without whose encouragement it wasn't possible for me to portray it beautifully. I also want to thank my critics, without whose criticism it wouldn't be possible to write that. Especially I want to thank Drive Amarjeet Nayak PhD in literature from IIT Kanpur, who gave a fire and arm to the artistic skills within me, and I initiated writing. At last, I want to thank Almighty for this wonderful experience. Thanks. Neeraj Gupta, BE, Electrical, ME, Power Systems and Drives. Worked as lecturer in Thapar University, Patiala, Punjab from 2008 to 2009. Presently perusing PhD from IIT Roorkee. Index. Introduction 1. The Saddest Time of My Love 2. Some Scraps of My College Days 5. The Step of a Love in My Life 6. Attitude Change 23. Her Possessiveness for Me 34. First Meeting with My Love 41. My Obsession Grew Weaker 46. First Date with My Extra Love Affair 48. The Heartening Tale of Crumble 51. The Rise of Devil in Me and My Hypothetical 56. Beloved, The Step of a True Angel in My Life 67. Introduction. Feedback at password neeraj5822@gmail.com. Life is like a smoke in the fire for him. When it goes, no one knows, as he was also going out like a smoke. Though want to live life to the fullest, but destiny has not given so much time for that. But it was a dream to be in top, and he is fulfilling that and would fulfill that. As it is said, the biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams. Though he had no regret out of life, but sometime he thinks if it was not be like that, then his life would have been different. He would definitely have been in some industry even without higher education, and if that would have happened, he would have got his love too. But then the life would have been without any adventure. It is just an imagination. Everyone imagines the life to be different than the way it is. I am not the philosopher, not a story writer even, but a technical person authoring the life of a person and imagining it to be different than what it is. The purpose of this story is to express the agonies faced by him in love and the way he wants to live life, but destiny has not allowed him to do so. This strange but true love story is written by heart, but at the end of the story he is satisfied that at least he experienced the most beautiful thing in the world, that is the love. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. He still loves his beloved and is in tears on remembering the time spent with her. He still waits for her, and when is in a sad mood remembers her and even sends her message whether she reads it or not. It is believed that as we grow in strength in our spiritual life, we give up the habit of worrying. It serves no purpose other than to make us feel tense and miserable. If I stop fretting about things that are beyond my control and rather focus on generating optimistic and kind thoughts, my life can begin to flow in more positive directions. Such a light and easy approach to life enables me to take everything in my stride. But this approach is hypothetical rather than realistic for him. The story starts at this stage, which is truly heartening, and I as an author of the story would not be able to present the whole picture of the story if I do not imagine myself to be in his place. 2. The saddest time of my love. Falling in love is awfully simple, but falling out of love is simply awful. It was the 3rd of April 2009 at 8:34 p.m. I received a message from my school time. Friend Sanam, I am going to United States today. I will talk to you once I reach there. Take care. I was in deep thought as what she wants to tell me, as she never sends me message like that. It seems something very urgent, and maybe it is concerned with my life. She was my school-time friend and married to a software engineer. She was working in a software company in Delhi, as her husband had been transferred to US and she was going to join him there. It seems that the message had been sent from airport only. Next day was a usual day for me. I simply forgot about her message too. At around 8:30 p.m. she gave me a call and said, "Hi Samir, how are you?" I was in hurry that day, so I simply sent you a message, because I was boarding flight to US. I want to tell you something which seems to be very important in your life. I was excited. What? Please tell me, I am dying to hear what you want to say. She replies, I had been in Jammu for few days. I met Sonia's sister. She is going to marry in the mid-April and she was busy in preparations for the same. Please, forget about her, as she is going to be someone else's wife now. I became mute for a moment. It seemed as if someone has taken heart away from my body, as if I was a body without soul, a warrior defeated in the battle of life. I was in tears, my heartbeat increased, and it seemed as if my heart will come out of my body. She asked me, "Are you there, Samir? What has happened to you? Are you alright?" "Yeah, I am alright." "When is she going to be married and what her fiancé do?" I asked in great despair. "Well, I don't know more details about that, but Sonia works in a Delhi and her fiancé is also in Delhi, and also he is from southern part of India," she replied. It reminded me of her reluctance to talk to her family on the basis of caste, as in her view her family had orthodox views in matters related to caste. But what about her marriage to a person who was not only of different caste but belonged to a very different culture also? Why her Orthodox family did not object to her marriage with that boy? I have many questions to ask. Why she was not hesitant as talking about that guy with her family? Why the person who loved me hid the relation from everyone, even from her close friends, or simply she had played with my emotions? Is love related to physical aspect of a person, or is it related to emotions? Last but not the least, if someone loves the person like me simply because of mercy, am I an object of pity? Do the persons like me have no right to love? How it all happened? How? I asked her with tears. Forget about her, dear. She does not deserve you. You will find a much better life partner. Forget about her once and for all. I am in tears, Sanam. How can I forget her with whom I have spent 2 years of my life? Why she has done this to me? I asked with a broken heart. Leave her now, dear. Think about your life and future. I am feeling guilty. I should not have told you about her, she said with guilt in her heart. Okay, dear, I have to go now as I am not feeling well tonight. Bye, I said. She replied, take care of yourself and close this chapter once and for all, dear. And please don't lose heart, take care, God bless you. It was the most despairing moment of my life, even worse than the worst I have ever experienced. Even worse than my breakup day. I was in tears, was sleepless the whole night, as if someone has taken something very precious away from me, which is even more precious than my life. I kept thinking of the past, the moments spent with her. I was unable to understand what to do. I was like a dead person whose soul is out of his body. Sometimes thought of ending life, but destiny desired something else. You have to live, not for yourself but for her. You have to find her. Wherever she is and with whom she is, ask her many questions, ask her that why she had ruined my life. Now, you have to ruin her life as she had done with you. Part her from her husband, then she would be yours. Wake up, you have to do that. You have to get your love at any cost. After all, everything is fair in love and war. Devil in me kept on telling me to do that. Next day was quite disturbing for me. I had a talk with my close friends. They tried to soothe my mind and I felt a little better, but not so much. It was the mid of April, generally the marriage season, and my beloved was also going to be married in the month. I didn't know the exact date, but whenever I saw a marriage ceremony it hurt me, as I was reminded that my beloved was also going to be someone else's. It really hurt me and brought tears into my eyes. The ghost of April 2009 haunted me very much. It seemed a gift which had been gifted to me by God, is going to be someone else's now. Whenever I saw a newlywed couple, I was reminded of her, which greatly disturbed my mind. I was in dismaying state. Often her remembrance haunted me. Her sweet voice, her beautiful smile, her love for me, her promises with me, the dreams we had seen together, dreamt of having a beautiful hut in the hill station, me and my beloved living a beautiful life where only love prevails. She in my arms and I having an infinite love for her, but all my dreams dashed to the ground. My love was in the mortuary and I was collecting the corpse of the time spent with her. Some scraps of my college days. Contentment is a great virtue, though it may not attract one's attention at first. Those who are truly content are usually quiet about it. It is a pleasure to be in their company, because they are full, peaceful, and generous. In my college days, I was a very introvert guy, didn't talk much with girls. But I like to share my views through my poetries and writings, for which sometimes I have to face criticism from my close ones. Big desires, big thoughts and big sayings all are the part of my life, but more hypothetical than realistic. Veil my emotions, my thoughts from everyone except me. In my college days I had a strong desire to be in love and be loved. In my graduation days I was infatuated for a girl living near my house. It was one-sided love affair. She used to take tuitions with me in my school days and I never expressed what I felt for her, as I myself didn't know what was that. My heartbeat used to increase on seeing her. She used to come to my house to take books and notes from me. But I didn't talk much with her. She was junior to me in my college. It was my strong desire to see her once a day. One day she left my college as she was going to join a course with some foreign university. I was very much hurt on hearing that. Though she didn't know about my feelings for her, yet I experienced the feeling of love for the first time in my life. Love is a very unique feeling, and if it is both-sided, then nothing is sweeter than that. It is said that the spaces between our fingers were created so that another's could fill them in. It definitely changed my life and gave me a new enthusiasm and energy to live life, and I thanked God for letting me experience this beautiful thing in life. The step of love in my life. Love, we think about it, sing about it, dream about it, and then lose sleep worrying about it. When we don't know we have it, we search for it. When we discover it, we don't know what to do with it. When we have it, we fear losing it. It is the constant source of pleasure and pain, but we don't know which it will be from one moment to the next. It is a short word, easy to spell, difficult to define, and an impossible to live without. Love is a better teacher than duty. Albert Einstein. It was the mid of February 2006. I was standing with my friend Sunil on my roof top. I had completed graduation in engineering and used to help my brother in his business. Wanted to fly in sky, had high aims, but my health seemed to be a big deterrence in that. Me and Sunil used to talk about everything, politics, new trends and girls, etc., 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 etc. I was having a look on the contact list in his mobile, and one number that struck was of a girl named Sonia. I asked him who the girl was. He told me that she was his classmate and now worked in airlines, and also that it was very difficult to handle her. Being little bit overconfident, I told him that nothing is impossible. Next day I sent her a message on her mobile phone. Hi. How are you? She called and asked, may I know who you are? I got confused and asked, are you Maya? Then simply kept the phone. Maya, being the name of my best friend in college, struck to me in haste. I again send a message, hi, I am Sunil's friend, can we be friends? She asked, which Sunil? I replied, your classmate in masters. She replied, okay. Then I again asked her, can we be friends? She replied, yeah, as you are Sunil's friend, I am automatically your friend. I was very happy and excited that day. It was mine first experience of a different type of friendship with a girl whom I had never seen. Being physically not fit, I had always desired to be in company of a girl with whom I would have shared a special relationship like any other normal boy of my age. It is the stigma of Indian society that a person with any sort of disability is not accepted by a normal person of the opposite sex as a life partner or as a special friend. But I was very much excited about the girl without worrying about the impact of my disease on our relationship. Next day I sent her message, hi, how are you, how was the day for you? She replied instantaneously, good, I am fine. What about you? I replied, I am also fine. Do you have any boyfriend? She replied, I am not that type of girl, so don't ever think like that. It made me laugh, as every girl would say the same, and was not at all surprised. At that stage of life I was very hard-hearted man, without love for anyone and not much for my family even. I only thought of my own pleasures, at whatever cost it may be. I had no idea that life was going to change, and which would make me so soft-hearted. So I started interacting with Sonia very frequently, but only through messages on phone, as I was too scared of talking to her directly and meeting, also because I felt that if we meet then she would have come to know about my physical condition. She messaged me at 10 p.m. and asked, where are you? I replied I was busy finding job for me on internet. She replied, "Talk to me, dear." I asked, "So, what do you think about me?" She replied, "You are a friend with whom I can share anything anytime and who will be there by my side whenever I need." This touched my heart and I am unable to express my feelings at that moment. I didn't know what had happened to me that night. I was so happy without knowing reason for the same. Everything seemed so beautiful. Life after that seemed so exciting and beautiful that I did not worry about my health condition and consequences of the same. We used to chat through messages on mobile phone for 1 month and I didn't know even how her voice sounded. I was hesitant in talking to her and I think she also felt the same. One day my friend Rohit asked me if there was someone who could tell about the fare of airlines as he had to go to Bangalore for interview. I said, "Yes, one of my friends is in airlines," and I called her. I said hi. She had not expected my call. So hesitantly she replied, "Hi. I asked one of my friends has to go to Bangalore, so can you please tell me the fare?" She replied in a low tone, "Yeah, I will let you know tomorrow." I replied, "Okay." It was a strange experience of talking to a girl with whom I had good friendship but only through messages. Through messages we came to know well about each other. We cared for each other, but on voice call it seemed as if we were strangers to each other. Next day, she called me up and told about fares of airlines and asked me to repeat what she was told by her. I replied hesitantly but was not in order. She gave a laugh and cut the call. It was a great experience that she shared her laugh with me. I messaged her, "Your laugh is very beautiful." She replied, "Thanks, but I was very much scared while talking to you, don't know why." I replied, "Me too, and that's why I didn't remember what was said by you." Then next day I called her and talked to her. Now I was bit less hesitant in talking to her. I was feeling some energy in my body. I didn't know from where it came. I felt as if some angel had stepped into my life and gave some meaning and strength to it. That night, she called me at 1 a.m. I was very much surprised on getting call. We talked till 5 in morning. She asked me about my family, etc., etc. I asked her to cut the call but she kept on telling that she was not feeling sleepy and wanted to talk to me. That day I realized that Sonia had something for me and she really cared for me. But I could not gather courage to tell her about my health and about my inabilities. I was scared of telling her these things as I was afraid losing her. For the first time I blamed God and medical science for my sufferings. It was my biggest mistake that I did not tell her the reality. Though I was getting the care and love of a girl, which I had never ever experienced in my life, but sometimes I felt that I was playing with her feelings. A thought was also there in my mind that true love never cares about anything or it does not have any condition. Sometimes I used to ask myself whether it is possible for a person to love another without even seeing her or him. Is this the love? Love with the voice only. But whatever I felt for her cannot be explained in words, then what was it? No one has defined love. Love is not the terminology but a feeling for someone for whom you care. So I was experiencing new excitement in my life. We used to talk once during the daytime and once at night, after dinner. I got selected in one of the competitive examination for the entry in a post-graduation course. I called her, "Hi dear, I got selected in competitive exam for PG course." She replied, "Congrats, I have full faith in your abilities." But she said in a sad mood, "Now as you are going out of city, will you forget me?" I replied, "No dear. How could I forget my dearest friend, and it is because of you that I passed the examination." It seems strange that I gave the whole credit and not my family, who were the main contributors. But love is a strange thing, and I was also expressing my selfish nature. So a strong bond of friendship was getting formed between both of us. However, there was an insecurity in my mind that whenever she comes to know the reality about me, then what would happen to this so-called love? Though we had feelings for each other, but we had never ever expressed that. Feelings are to be expressed by deeds but not by words. My attitude changed for my family also. Now, I was more polite, started caring for my family, my mother. These changes were there in me because of that girl, and it is truly said that behind every successful man there is a woman, and behind every unsuccessful man also, there is a woman. Maybe I am getting too harsh for women, blaming them for everything. One incident which made me realize that it is impossible for me to live without her was that she was going to Bangalore for a training session of 7 days. She called and said, "You know, I am going to Bangalore for a training session of 7 days. I replied in a low tone, "Good." She asked, "Why you seem to be low?" I said, "Nothing." She insisted, then I said, "You will forget me and will find new friends there." She replied, "I will not ever talk to you, goodbye once and for all." I asked, "What happened, dear? I am sorry if I hurt you, please never do this to me, I am sorry." She kept mum for few minutes. I was feeling as if someone had taken my heart out of my body. Then after the pause she spoke and I felt new energy in my body. These few minutes seemed so long. I astonished what was happening to me and my emotions. She replied, "Okay, that's fine, but don't ever think so, as I am your friend and will remain forever." I had a sigh of relief, and I wondered that whatever is happening to me is good or bad, but it seemed a very beautiful thing without worrying about the consequences. While leaving for Bangalore, she gave me a call from the airport. Her mother and a friend were accompanying her to see off her. She called and said, "Hello, how are you?" I replied, "Good. What about you?" She said, "I am leaving for Bangalore." I replied, "Good luck for your journey, take care of yourself." She gave a beautiful laugh and said, "You are saying the same thing which my mother said few minutes ago." I said, "I care for you like your mother." She replied with a sigh, "I know." Then her mother came and she put the call on hold and had a word with her mother. After a pause she murmured, "Don't cut the call, I want to talk to you till I board the plane." She seemed low and said with tears in her eyes, "I am missing my father very much. If he would have been in this world, he would have been very happy for me." I said, "Don't worry, dear. His blessings would always be with you. I would always remain with you and give you strength." She said, "Let us see what happens. God has never been kind to me, and this time it should not be repeated, I pray to God." Okay, take care of yourself. I will try to call you whenever I get time. I am about to board the plane. If something happens to plane or me, then you can remember me with these words, goodbye, and cut the call. I was in tears and was unable to stop. I didn't know what had happened to me that day. I keep on weeping without any reason. I was feeling so much emotional. Sonia lost her father few years back because of illness. She was the youngest of 3 sisters and loved by her father most. After her father's death, she missed him very much but never expressed this thing to anybody except me. This again showed that she also loved me as a special friend. She had to reach Bangalore via Delhi. On reaching Delhi, she called me. "Hi, how are you? I am in Delhi airport waiting for the flight to take off for Bangalore." I replied, "Good, take care of yourself and take something to eat." She said, "Don't worry, I will take care." I said, "I don't know what has happened to me today, I am in tears without any reason." She sighed and replied, "Don't worry. I am fine and safe here and goodbye for now as I have to call my mother, bye, take care." I wondered if she knows the reason which I am unable to understand. Then she cut the call. I wanted to understand what she said, but how could I understand other person's feelings? That night there was no electricity due to rainy and stormy weather, so I was in bed at 10 o'clock. Now, I was very happy after talking to Sonia. I used to keep my mobile phone in cupboard. At around 11, I heard my mobile ringing, but as I was sharing the room with rest of my family, I could not gather courage to take the call. It rang for 7 or 8 times. I was sure it was Sonia. That night I was unable to sleep and was feeling sorry for her. She needed me and I was not available at that moment. Next day, I woke up early in morning and saw my mobile phone. There were 8 missed calls by 3 different numbers, but surely it was not the number of my state. So I concluded that these were her calls from Bangalore. I waited eagerly for her call that day. The phone bell rang nearly at 2 p.m. It was her call as expected. She asked, "Where were you yesterday night? Do you know I called you from 3 numbers as I was feeling scared and lonely here, where were you?" I got emotional and replied, "Dear, I am so very sorry for that, I also had a sleepless night. It was difficult for me to take the call as my whole family was with me at that time. But I am feeling guilty that you needed me at that time and I was not available, I really care for you." She said, "It's okay, I will talk to you at night, I have a class now and have to talk to mother also, take care, bye." I replied satisfactorily, "Bye, you too, take care of yourself," and she cut the call. At night she called me at 10:30 from the hotel room. That night I was ready to share with her something which I had never before. She said, "Hi, how are you, dear?" I replied, "Good, and what about you? Have you taken your dinner?" She said, "Yeah, and you?" I replied, "You forget me, first take care of yourself, I am at home and you are away." She said, Okay, I am not a child, I am grown up." She said these words in such a childish way that it touched my heart. Then we talked about her work and all. Suddenly she asked me something which stunned me and I took a pause for some time. She asked, "You are talking to me now, but if I get married, then with whom you will talk?" I got stunned with these words and replied in low tone, "I don't know." I was in a deep thought and then she again asked, "Tell me, will you find someone else like me?" I replied in anger, "Shut up, I don't know." Then after a brief pause I continued, "I want to share something with you." She asked what. I said, "I think I have something in my mind for you, and I mean it." She sighed and replied, "You think so but not sure." I said, "No, I am sure, I have feelings for you." She kept quiet for some time and then replied, "But I am not sure. God has taken all those things away from me which I loved. I lost my father whom I loved thee most, and if I say yes to you and unfortunately something adverse happens, then I will not be able to bear it, I will certainly die." I said, "I will not forget you ever, trust me." She replied, "You take your own time and try to understand what you have said. Today, if something happens to our relationship, then I will not be able to forgive myself for the rest of my life. I do not understand why God is so kind to me this time. He has taken all my beloved ones away from me. I don't trust my destiny. Now, you also said that you think you have feelings for me but not sure. First you make sure that you mean whatever you have said. Try to give a thought to what I said. Bye, take care." She cut the call and I was silent for some time thinking what she said. That night was, again, sleepless for me. I kept on thinking about her words and her fear of losing the things she loved. Certainly, she was not rejecting my feelings for her, but she wanted to warn me about any adverse consequences. But in the back of my mind a thought was there that how could I propose a girl, express my feelings for her without telling her the reality about my health condition? It was very unfair on my part, as I was thinking only about my feelings and was playing with her feelings. She had every right to know about me. I was in great dilemma whether to tell her the truth or not, but was of course afraid of losing her because she would not have accepted me on knowing the reality. For the first time I was getting the romantic love of a girl and didn't want to lose that, so I decided not to tell the reality of my health to her. Though there was guilt at the small corner of my heart, yet my selfishness overpowered my guilt. Till now we had not seen each other. It seems strange, but that is true. This beautiful story makes this saying incorrect: love moves from eyes to heart. But in my case, love started from heart and then moved to eyes. To love someone is a wonderful feeling, and persons who have never been in love in life have missed this beautiful experience. Love cannot be explained in words, it is only a feeling. I do not find the words to describe it. Now let us get back to my life. Next day was not like other days for me. I was thinking about my conversation with Sonia last night. I was also feeling insecure whether Sonia would call me today or not. But finally she called me at 11 p.m. and asked, "Hi. How are you, dear?" I replied, "I am all right. You tell, have you taken your meals?" She said, "Don't worry, I am taking care of myself well." I said, "Forget whatever I told you yesterday, it was my feeling. I am so sorry if I hurt you with that conversation." She took a long breath and said, "Don't be sorry, you told about your feelings and whatever I feel I told you." Then with a goodbye she cut the call. I was feeling as if she was trying to say something, but not able to express that thing. Feelings are to be felt but not expressed. How could I know what was there in her mind unless she expressed? Next day I learnt about one of her qualities which every traditional Indian girl must have. She called me at 11 p.m. and asked, "How are you, dear?" I replied, "Fine, dear. So how was the day?" She said, "Forget about that, I want to tell you something." I asked, "What?" She replied, "Last night one of the girls was out of hotel for the whole night to be with her boyfriend." I said, "Then what? It is her life. why you are worried about these things. She replied, I am not worried, but this is not right before marriage, and why are you supporting the girl who is doing wrong? I think you are also like her. You may also have relations before marriage, that's why you are saying so. I said I am not supporting, but let her do what she wants to. She asked angrily, how many girlfriends you have? I replied, none, but I may have one very shortly. She understood what I wanted to say and said after a brief pause, I have to go to sleep now, take care, bye. It made me understand that she was like other traditional Indian women and she valued the Indian culture. But I was amazed why she was asking about my relationships. Perhaps she was getting possessive for me. Next day she had to come back to Jammu, so I was eagerly waiting for her call. At 3 p.m. I got a missed call from her, but when I called back the number was not reachable. I was surprised. She called me at 3:15 p.m. from airport and said, hi, I have reached safely in Jammu dear, I am back home. I replied, good to hear that, but why did you give a missed call me at 3 p.m.? She said, no dear. How could I? I was in plane at that time. I again asked her, no dear, check your call registry. She checked it and got surprised on seeing that there was a call from her mobile to mine. At 3 p.m. She said, how it could be possible dear, as I have not called, but call registry shows that call was done, how it could be. I replied, maybe God wants me to be the first person with whom you talk on reaching Jammu. She replied with a long breath, I don't know what God wants, but he is not so generous to me ever, then why this time, and said goodbye, talk to you at night. Take care. This incident made me believe that there was some supernatural power which was trying to bring us closer. But supernatural powers in 21st century, it's unbelievable, and moreover I did not have any faith in God. But then I thought maybe it is because of Sonia's deep faith in existence of God. I was unable to understand, and no technical person would ever understand that. But one thing I was feeling, that I was going to be the most important person in her life. It reminded me of the saying that if you truly love someone, then whole of the universe would try hardest to make sure that you get that love. But no one knows the destiny. Whole of the universe seems to be beautiful. I am up in the sky. Love is a very beautiful thing, and whole world seems beautiful to the person who is in love. Even my family noticed the changes in me. My attitude for everyone changed. Now I was more caring for my family. I started taking care of my mother. It seemed that I had learned to love not only Sonia but my family also. There had always been a loving person hidden in me, but it was Sonia who brought that love into my life. It was the first week of June. The 6th of June is my birthday, and on 5th of June she called me at around 8 in evening. She said, happy birthday dear, I want to give you a present. I am unable to gather the courage to face you, so I shall give it to your friend Sunil. Ask him to meet me in university. I replied, okay, I would ask him. At sharp 12 in night she called, hi, happy birthday dear, many happy returns of the day. May God bless you. I replied, thanks dear, and I pray to God that I can celebrate all my birthdays with you. She took a long breath and cut the call. I did not insist on meeting her as I was scared of losing her. But I didn't understand why she hesitated to give the gift personally to me. Next day she took half-day leave from her office to meet Sunil so as to give him the gift. But due to some reason Sunil could not be at university. She called me in the evening. She said sadly, "Your friend did not meet me. I waited him for 2 hours. I had taken leave also. Where was he?" I replied, "Dear, I don't know the reason, but may I know what was the gift for me?" She said chocolates, but now I will have to eat all that. My mother asked me about all these chocolates, but I lied, "It's too bad." I replied with smile, "You ate or I ate, it's the same thing, so don't worry dear. Don't feel guilty for that." Again thought came in my mind whether I was doing right or not. I was in a fix, but I decided to let the things go on. With time I was getting closer to her, and same for here. One day I called her and asked, "How are you, Janu?" She replied, "Janu? What is that?" I said, "It's the name given to you by me." She said in a childish tone, "Okay, as you wish." After that I frequently used the words Janu and my Sonia, and she never objected to that, rather she loved to hear those words. One day I messaged her at night, "Sonia, I love you. It's impossible for me to live without you. Do you love me? If you have same feelings for me, then give me a missed call before 10 in morning." Next day I was waiting for her missed call since 6 in the morning. I was waiting as if I was getting some reward or waiting for the result of an examination. There were mixed emotions in my mind. I was thinking, if she says no, then what will happen? It seemed to be a matter of life and death for me. Minutes seemed to be as long as days or years. I was very much nervous. Now it's 9:55 a.m., I was getting negative thoughts. But suddenly everything changed. I got a call at 9:59 a.m., it was her call, and everything changed after that. I was feeling as if I have got everything I have ever desired for in life. I thank God for being so kind to me. I was really unable to believe that the person whom I loved the most also loved me. It was perhaps one of the most important moments of my life. Then I tried to tell her about my health. I messaged her that there is problem in my muscles and I have difficulty in walking. She called me and said very coolly, "You should take the ashwagandha with milk to cure the weakness in your legs. I will give it to your friend Sunil tomorrow. You should take that and you will be all right." I replied, "Okay dear, I will purchase it myself. Tell me from where I can get that." She told the place and brand, which was owned by a particular saint whom I didn't trust at all. But I agreed. Just because she had asked me, I started trusting the saint also. Earlier, I even used to exchange words with my mother over his truthfulness. But love made me believe that saint also. Even a lie seems to be the truth when spoken by beloved ones. That is the power of love. Next day she asked me about ashwagandha. I lied that I had consulted my doctor in Amritsar, where my treatment had been going on, and he suggested me not to take that. She trusted me. I thought I might lose her love if I told her more than that. So I thought that with time she would get apprised of my actual condition. Now it was the time to go for the interview for the higher studies. She seemed to be little sad. She called me on the day I was leaving and said, "Hi Samir." I replied, "Hi Janu, I am leaving for interview along with my brother. Pray to God that I am successful in it." In a happy but little sad tone she said, "Yeah, I always pray for you dear. Wish happy and safe journey. It reminded me of the basic nature of a woman, that is, to be always so loving and caring. Truly I was touched by these words. I said, "You take care of yourself." She replied, "You also take care, take food properly and don't forget to message me after every 1 hour during journey, otherwise I will not talk to you." She was getting too emotional. It really brought tears in my eyes. She was getting possessive for me and I was feeling so much love for her that it's impossible to explain. Next day I left for that place. Before leaving I called her to say goodbye. I messaged her frequently. My interview was scheduled for next day. Me and my brother, stayed at my friend's place. We reached at 7 p.m. in the evening. My brother and friend went out and I decided to remain at home only. I called her and said, "Hi Janu, how are you?" She replied, "I am fine. How are you? Have you reached safely there? Have you taken lunch, tea, etc., 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 etc.?" She asked so many questions without taking break. I replied, "I am fine, dear. I know you care for me a lot. I am taking care of myself. Well, so don't worry." She said, "If you don't take care of yourself then I will not talk to you. My mom is coming, so bye and take care." I said bye. God bless you. I got emotion and message to her, "Sonia, I love you very much, more than anything else in life, just be with me for the whole life. It is unable to live without you now. I will take care of you well. I will take care of our children. I love you very much and I know that you also love me very much, but it is difficult for you to express being a girl. But I love you and don't ever think of leaving me. In love a person doesn't understand what he is saying. He is in love and whole world seems to be lovable to him. I made all imaginations about our marriage and life after that. It seems strange, but when the person is in love then he can imagine anything he likes, no matter whether it is practically possible or not. Next day I got up early in the morning and called her before leaving for interview. Her mother picked up the phone and said, hello, who are you? With whom do you want to talk?" I didn't respond and disconnected the call. Her mother seemed to be angry because of the call. But I had to go for interview, so I left. I got selected in the interview and at noon I called her, "Hi Janu, I got selected in interview." She said in an emotional tone, "Congrats for that, now you will have to leave Jammu." I replied, "Don't worry dear, I am always with you, my soul remains with you only." She said, "Let us see. Have you taken lunch? If not then cut the call and take lunch now." I replied, Okay dear, I know you care for." Then she said, "You called in the morning." My mother asked me many questions related to the call. "Now go and take lunch and call me when you reach home." I replied, "Okay dear, you are so lucky for me. I got selected in it because of your wishes." It shows how an Indian girl has to make adjustments due to the restrictions imposed on her by her parents or elders, but she is ready to adjust with these restrictions for her love, and that is true in my case also. It once again shows my selfish nature. Everything was being done by my family and I was giving credit to that girl. But at that time I was in love and far away from reality. But that's love. In love a person thinks about his lover and nothing else. On the journey back to Jammu, I listened the song of a recently released movie, Krish, a Bollywood movie starring Hrithik Roshan and Priyanka Chopra many times, and imagined that I was singing it for her. Dhup nilti hai jahan se, chandni beti hai yahan tak. Kabar ye hai wahan se, koi tumse nahin, koi tumse nahin. On reaching Jammu, I gave her a missed call at 12 midnight to inform that I had reached home safely, and in return she also gave a missed call. I felt that she was eagerly waiting for me to reach Jammu and was awake till that time. I had to leave Jammu after a week. So these days were crucial for me. I had to make preparations for going. She seemed to be little sad maybe as I was leaving. Still we had never seen each other, strange but true. Now I believed that the true love is between two persons irrespective of their physical appearances. But it was far away from reality. However, sometimes I felt insecure also that if I met her personally, then what would be her reaction on seeing me? Did she truly love me, or she loved me just because I was well educated and belonged to a good family? I did not have the strength to tell her the truth. I decided to let the things go on like that only and let time decide the fate of our relation. Now it was the time to leave Jammu. I had to leave next day morning. I packed all the things required. In evening she called me and said with emotions, "Hi, how are you? So, you are leaving tomorrow, take care of yourself well and call me daily. Don't forget me." I replied, "How can I forget myself, dear? You are my soul and thus you always remain with me." She said with a long breath, "What if you find someone else there and forget me?" I replied angrily, "Shut up, you are my love and I love you more than anything else." Then I asked her to put the call on hold and to listen the song, a Bollywood song. Tum ko bhi hai kabar, mujhko bhi hai pta, ho raha hai juda, dono ka rasta. Dur jaki bhi mujhse tum meri yadan main rena. Kabhi alvida na ke na, kabhi alvida na ke na. We talked for around 2 hours. She was feeling very emotional and sad on my departure. Next morning I left Jammu. It was a new beginning for me. On the way I messaged her many times. I was so much lost in her love that I even forgot my mother. Now I feel guilty, but I didn't know what had happened to me, that she had become the most important person in my life and all others were secondary. It was a great mistake on my part. Next day I was in my hostel. I called her in the evening and had a talk with her. Here there were no barriers, as none could listen to our conversation and I could talk freely without any hesitation.